Hey y'all, Billy Thomas here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at importing a CSV file into SQL Server. Let's get to work. The first thing we need to do when we're working with a CSV file is take a look at the data. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to go into File, the File Manager here, and we're going to find this file. It happens to be under my downloads, and it's a CSV file. So I'm going to bring that up and let it search. This is the guy we're looking for right here, people 1000. Now I'm going to open this with Excel. Excel does a great job of opening and letting you profile data for a CSV. So if I double click this, it's going to go right into Excel. And then I just want to open up the columns here so I can take a look at it and see. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 columns, and how many rows? We've got 1,000 rows. So we've got nine columns, 1,000 rows, and that's very important so that when we're importing the data, we want to know what success looks like. Well, success will look like 9 columns of data imported and 1,000 rows. And then also just paying a little bit of attention to what data is in here so that we can see that our columns and header names all line up when we get it into SQL. So I'm going to go ahead and close that off for now. And don't save it. You don't want to save it because you might save it in an Excel format or something and weird it out. We don't want to change the raw data. Now at this point, we're going to use the import export wizard, which is required to move data in and out of SQL Server. And we've got this guy right here. Comes up with a splash screen. You'll just hit next on that. Now, on the data source, it's not super intuitive for a CSV file. You've got to hit the flat file source. And on this guy, we come in and we browse to the file. Now, it kind of defaults into a .txt. We've got to override that. So we're going to do star.csv and hit enter so that we can see our CSV files. And here's my file, people-1000. I'm going to hit open. And by the way, I'll leave a link for you to be able to download some sample data, just like this file that I've got here, to practice. Now, once I've got the file name filled in, the rest of this you can leave alone. Go to next, and then you'll see here it recognized the data. So there's your columns, right? And it also sees that it is comma delimited. We'll do next again. Now it wants the destination. So we're going to take it from a CSV and we want to put it into our database. I have a database called the Data Factory. So we're going to go find that. And what I need to do is say, I want the Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL Server. And then I need to select my database. Gives it just a second. And there's my Data Factory. And we're going to hit next. And from this point on, it's pretty much next, finish. The one thing about this particular screen is you have the opportunity to change the name of the table right here, or select a table that you already have created and are importing into. But for now, we're just going to let it create this people-1000 table. And you can also do a preview here. And there's really no mappings because it's just, at least for this one, because we're doing a new table. And then next, and let's finish and run it. Now, I happen to know while this is running, I'll just give you a preview. We're going to hit an error. And this is very common when we're doing text files, especially something that comes to us from somebody in Excel, which does not do a good job of governing the data that's being put into it. Right? So we've got an error here. We can click on this messages hyperlink and it'll tell us that basically we've got a column that's got data in it that's too big for what we had as a default setting. And that particular column right here, it says job title. So we're going to back up, make a correction, and come back to this so that you can see how we fix this. So if I just back up all the way to the source file, and when it says choose a data source, we want to click over here in advanced, And then we want to find the column that was giving us trouble. And you'll see over here, it said output column with 50. That's not enough for the amount of data or for the length of the data that's in that column. We're going to go ahead and make it 100. Now, if you want to be precise about this, you would go into the CSV file with Excel or something, and you would look at that column and maybe do a length function on it to figure out what do you really need. Is it 52? Is it 60? Is it 200? Right? But I happen to know that 100 will get the job done, so we're going to use that for now. And now we can basically next through all of these screens and finish. Now, it should come up and tell us success, and it should give us a record count. Record counts are so important. You want to really pay attention to your record counts when working with data. So we're expecting 1,000 rows. We're going to look here and see that we now have success and that 1,000 rows were transferred. Well, that's great that it says it here. So that's at least we've made progress. We want to look in SQL Server now to see, did it make it? Did it make it to the right database? And how does the data look? So at this point, I'm going to go over to my database we told it to go into is Data Factory. And I'm in tables right now, but notice nothing's showing up, right? So I have to hit this refresh button because it's a brand new table. And then SQL Server will go out and find any tables that have come in, and boom, there it is, people 1000. Now, if I just right mouse click on this guy and do select 1,000 rows, right, I should see 1,000 rows and 9 columns. And if I want to be sure that it's 1,000 rows, I can actually take this statement out, which is, it's actually a coincidence that it defaults to just pull the top 1,000 rows. But we'll take that off and we'll re-execute this and see that it is indeed 1,000 rows. Well, I hope that video was helpful and informative. And if it was, would you please like this video and subscribe to the ALLJOY Data YouTube channel? And remember, it's ALLJOY Data because working with data should make you smile.